To get rid of bad characteristics, it is not your character. Egoistic characteristic, it is not your characteristic. First, you're talking about Hazrat Al-Bakr, Prophet ﷺ, Hazrat Al-Bakr, Hazrat Umar, Hazrat Osman, Hazrat Ali. We're mentioning especially Hazrat Al-Bakr, Hazrat Umar. Now, the two are even not the same. You cannot speak. All three of them, they're not the same. With Islam, before Islam, let's say, with the prophethood and after they're not the same. Holy Prophet ﷺ, he was already a prophet. Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq recognized him as a prophet from a very early age. He didn't need, you think he needed the prophet to say I'm a prophet for him to believe later? No. Hazrat Umar was different. Hazrat Umar had very strong characteristics. But what was those characteristics? What was those characteristics? It's not the same like our characteristic. What was his characteristic? Before he accepted the Holy Prophet ﷺ, he was doing every wrong thing like us, what we are doing. I'm asking you, yes or no? Good, no. You can even say that he was worshipping to other than Allah. Can you say that? Huh? Say. Good. Then you know your manners. Because you cannot even accuse of Hazrat Umar of making a shirk. Because what kind of faith he has in other than Allah if he eats his ilah? What kind of faith is that? That he said during the time of Jahiliyyah, we used to make our ilah from our idols from bread. When we have nothing to eat, we eat it. Can you say that he really has faith other than that? But it is different from Hazrat Abu Bakr, correct? Yes or no? Yes. Good. So you cannot now mix up so many different things now together. Otherwise, in your head, everything is going to get mixed up. And where are we now? Where are we? What about our characteristics? Getting rid of our egoistic characteristic, it is not the same as them, whatever characteristics that they had before Islam, or when they accepted the Prophet ﷺ. Even Hazrat Wahshi, with that spear, he threw it at Hazrat Hamza because he hated Hazrat Hamza. Then he was forced to do it. He was a slave. He was forced. It wasn't by hate. How many of us we had hate to the laws of Allah before we found our Shaykh? We don't understand something, we say we don't like it, you hate it. Correct? So it is not the same. If your question now is, we have strong characteristics, what happens now when you accept tariqat? Well, those strong characteristics, whether they're driven by the ego or something else, will they still stay? How is it that you're going to do it? The characteristics that you have, number one, the ego, it doesn't exist in the same way that the spirit is existing. They are not equal. The spirit is coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The ego, you can say that the shadow, it is real, and is the shadow existing by itself? Shadow doesn't even exist if it's not because of the reality of that object. Yet Allah has created that. Don't mix up, like we may say time to time. It's good, you have that stubbornness, and that stubbornness you use it for the sake of Allah. You may say that time to time. But don't get confused between stubbornness for the ego and stubbornness for Allah's sake. There's two completely different things too. You may have strong characteristics, for example. You may be a very angry person. You cannot control your anger. Everywhere is burning now. Now you cannot say, now we enter into tariqat and the Shaykh clean you up. Now you're going to use that burning anger for the sake of Allah. Especially now. What are we doing that is for the sake of Allah? Nothing. Nothing. You may use now that anger maybe against yourself. Instead of against the other people, against yourself. Why am I behaving this way? Now everything is coming inside, towards inside. There are certain strong characteristics that you have, that the ego is using that against to Allah's wishes, against to Allah's will. That we have to know this is wrong. But even those strong characteristics, it is coming from something that is real. You cannot say it is the same. Someone who is strong, someone who is stubborn, for instance, or someone who is very proud. Now, he is going to use it for his ego before. Now, under the leash of our Shaykh, he may use it for the sake of Allah, for the sake of Islam. Those are two completely different things. And before, why are they different? Because before that one was a wild animal. He's attacking everything. But now, that one is an animal with an owner. And he has a leash on. So, who is now giving the order to the animal? The animal? No, the owner. Now you cannot say that the animal is ferocious. It is the owner who is using that animal. And the whole point now is to take that leash and to put it around our necks and to give it to our owner. That is the most important thing now. And the owner now is not just going to say, okay, now you are stubborn, I'm going to break everything. And no, he's going to make you understand the stubbornness that you had before is for shaitan, and you have to break that. That you have to break. How many times we heard our Shaykh saying, take a pin and poke it to yourself. As much pain as you can endure from it, then hurt other people. Hurt other people. Doing things for our ego, we don't understand the pain. We only understand the pleasure of doing it to other people. First, you have to understand the pain, and then you're going to say, oh, I shouldn't be doing this, because this brings pain. That one who is controlling you now. Now you may say, now, do it for Allah's sake. That time, you're not hurting anyone. That time, you are going to throw. You're going to use that sword, you're going to throw that arrow, but it is not you who is throwing it, it is Allah that is throwing it. But that, you have to come to a point of submission. What is the point of submission? Not just by your head, you say, oh yeah, I submit, I like. You have to go through severe tests. You have to get knocked wall to wall. You have to be so confused, you don't know what is right, what is wrong. You don't know what is correct, what is not correct. You have to come to that point and say, I give up. You tell me what it is. And it's a very painful station to be at. So, whatever that we had before, whatever characteristics that we had before, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not create that characteristic for us to lose also. But don't get confused. The characteristic of the spirit and the characteristic of the ego. You understand? The ego, it is stubborn for its own sake. The spirit, it is steadfast. It is strong and not letting go of the haqq. Those are two different things. It's not just, not just using different words. They have different meanings. If you cannot understand the difference now, you're going to be a very low level at that time. And that time, very low level, you're just going to be like that murid, like that eshkia who goes to our grand sheikh and says, I want to accept tariqah. And the sheikh says, really, you want to accept? He says, yes, very simple. He says, tomorrow, you're going to go to the marketplace, you can see an old man. Smack him, and then come back. He says, this is tariqah? He says, yes, it's tariqah. So he goes. He sees one old man. What was he doing? Yeah? There were three. Let me make it easy. He smacked the old man. He saw maybe the old man. The old man was just standing there. And he was selling. Let's say he's selling liver. Okay? And he went there, he smacked the man, and the man didn't even notice anything. He didn't say anything. He just looked at him. Then he went back. The Ashkia goes back to the grand sheikh and says, I did that. He says, good, you did that. Next day, go to the same marketplace, you're going to see another man. This other man, he says, now punch him in the face. Ashkia is feeling now, because he likes violence. He says, first time I smack old man, I feel pretty good. But now he wants me to punch another old man. So he goes, he sees this old man, another one, he wants to punch him in the face. And he feels a little bit bad, because he's an old man, weak. So he punches him in the face anyway. The old man, let's say, he didn't say anything, but you can see he's just trying to control his anger, let's say. So he went back and he told the grand sheikh, this is what happened. It's good. Now, next, go to the same marketplace, he's going to see another old man. He says, take the stick, hit him until the stick breaks. Now he goes and he says, what kind of tariqah is this? So he takes that stick and he hits him. Stick broke, and the old man rushed to him, kissed his hand. And said, oh my son, did you hurt your hand hitting me? Because the second one, the first one just looked at him, the second one is just smiling to him. Third one started apologizing to him. He's the one who hit it, apologized, kissed his hand. He went back and he says, I don't want to enter the tariqah anymore. He says, this is wrong. His heart starting to move. And the Grand Sheikh, that first one, that was all our murids. The first one, he was too proud. I sent him there to sell liver. He just looked at you, but he's still too proud. He's not saying anything, but it's still everything is inside. Second one, he goes and he just gives salams to you and he smiles to you. That one is better. He says, that one, the third one, this is my real murid. Because he knows that whatever that is happening to him, the Sheikh is sending it to him. He's kissing your hand. But the Ashkia was already crying to him. He says, I don't want to do this. I cannot do this anymore. So this is completely different. Because under the guidance of shaitan, when you do something is different. Under the guidance of the awliya Allah, when you do something it is different. It may look as if it's the same thing. But the feeling is different, the action is different, and the purpose is also different. And your own reality will understand that. So, of course, everyone comes with different characteristics, but don't think that before we met our Shaykh, before tariqat, those characteristics, they are real also. And that they are our only characteristics. No, those are not. There were characteristics before that, and before that too. Maybe there are other things that's also hidden inside of you. Just because you come to us proud and arrogant doesn't mean that pride and arrogance is something that is you. There are other things that's also you. You don't know it yet, but you think it's only pride and arrogance. People coming saying, oh, I can't change that. Inshallah, may we be able to change. Using it for Allah's sake, feeling is different. Inshallah. This much is enough. وَمِنَ اللَّهُ التَّوْفِيقُ وَالْفَضْلُ.